Buckle up, everyone, because today we're diving headfirst into a world that's both futuristic and increasingly part of our present.
Sounds exciting.
Humanoid robots.
Yeah.
We're going beyond those clunky machines of the past and exploring robots designed to actually work with us, seamlessly fitting into our world.
I'm particularly fascinated by how rapidly this technology is evolving.
Me too. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Right.
We'll explore the real-world impact of humanoid robots, what they can do now, the benefits they offer, and get a glimpse into what the future holds. It's all about practical knowledge, not just the cool tech stuff.
Well, it's really remarkable to see this convergence of advancements happening in AI motion control and even material science.
Yeah.
These elements are all coming together to create robots that can move, learn, and interact in ways we never thought possible.
Okay, so before we get ahead of ourselves, let's start with the basics. What exactly defines a robot as humanoid? I mean, robots are doing all sorts of things these days.
That's true. Robotics is a vast field. But what makes humanoid robots stand out is their form factor. 2 arms, 2 legs, and often a head mimicking us humans.
So they're built to look like us?
Right. And this design lets them interact with our environments, our tools and spaces in a really natural and intuitive way. It just makes collaborating with humans that much smoother.
Got it. So it's not just about appearances. It's about being able to function effectively in our world.
Exactly.
And that's what's so cool about the research we have for this deep dive. It highlights how these robots are moving beyond the labs and into real-world applications.
Oh, absolutely. One really striking example is Agility Robotics' Digit Robot. This robot can walk, run, navigate obstacles, and it's already being used in logistics and warehouses to work alongside humans.
I was reading about that. Imagine a robot just smoothly navigating a warehouse, grabbing packages, sorting shipments, all while working with human workers.
It does seem like something out of a movie.
Right.
But it's happening now.
That's amazing.
And it's important to point out this isn't about replacing jobs.
Oh.
It's more about augmenting human capabilities, letting workers be more efficient and handle tasks that might be physically demanding or even dangerous.
So it's more like a collaboration than a replacement.
Exactly.
That's a key difference.
Yeah.
And these robots aren't just limited to warehouses, are they?
Not at all.
I mean, our sources mentioned Tesla and BMW using humanoid robots on their assembly lines, too.
You're right. The precision and consistency these robots offer is really changing industries where every detail matters. They can perform tasks that require incredible accuracy, tirelessly, and without getting tired.
And this is where it gets really exciting for me. Imagine humanoid robots in customer-facing roles. I mean, our sources even mention SoftBank's Pepper robot, which is designed to interact with customers, provide information, and even offer personalized recommendations.
It really gives us a glimpse into a future where robots aren't just working behind the scenes, but are actually the face of businesses, potentially offering a unique and engaging customer experience.
So we're seeing these robots in action, but what's driving this rapid progress? Is it simply better hardware, or is there something more to it?
Well, it's this incredible combination of both hardware and software advancements. We're seeing major leaps in artificial intelligence, specifically neural networks. This allows robots to learn, adapt, and make decisions on their own. NVIDIA's Cosmos platform is a great example of how AI is being integrated into robotics.
Wow. So these robots aren't just following pre-programmed instructions, they're actually learning and getting smarter over time.
Precisely. And then there are the breakthroughs in motion control, like what Agility Robotics is doing. These robots can move in ways that were unimaginable just a few years ago.
It's mind-blowing to think about.
It is.
So it's this perfect storm of technologies that's making humanoid robots so capable and versatile. It definitely feels like we're at the start of something big.
We are.
But before we get too carried away with the future, let's focus on the here and now, the benefits we're seeing right now. It's clear that these robots are already boosting productivity in a lot of industries.
The evidence is definitely there. In logistics, for example, we're seeing efficiency gains of up to 40% in some cases. In manufacturing, the increased precision and consistency leads to better quality products and less waste.
And it's not just about the numbers, is it? There are the safety improvements, too. Robots can take on those dangerous tasks, which reduces the risk of workplace accidents for humans.
You're absolutely right. Humanoid robots are making workplaces safer, more efficient, and more productive. And we're really just at the beginning of what's possible.
Which brings up a good question.
Yeah.
For businesses looking at this technology, how accessible is it? I mean, is this only for big corporations like Amazon and Tesla, or can smaller companies get involved too?
That's a key question. Currently, cost is a big barrier. These robots are complex and fairly expensive to make, but things are changing quickly.
So there's hope for smaller businesses down the line.
Absolutely. Our sources mention 3D printing and new materials like graphene. Those could be game changers when it comes to making these robots more affordable.
That's good to hear. So it sounds like the benefits of this technology could become more widespread in the near future.
I believe so.
But of course, we can't ignore the ethical side of things. As these robots get more advanced, responsible development and use becomes really important.
That's essential. We need to make sure these robots are used for good and that there are safeguards in place. We have to address concerns about job displacement and ensure that these advancements benefit everyone.
It's a crucial consideration. How do we ensure that bringing humanoid robots into our world leads to a positive outcome for everyone involved?
It's a conversation that requires careful thought and a lot of collaboration. We need to consider the potential impact on workers, the ethical guidelines for how robots should behave, and just the overall impact on society.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful. We've explored the present and gotten a sneak peek into the future. We've discussed the remarkable benefits and the challenges ahead, and the ethical considerations we can't ignore. There's still so much more to uncover, and we'll continue our exploration in part 2 of this episode. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our exploration of these fascinating humanoid robots.
I'm honestly still trying to wrap my head around everything we talked about in the last part.
Yeah,
It's amazing how advanced this tech has become,
it is.
and the potential impact it could have on our future.
Absolutely.
But before we get too caught up in all the robot assistance and space exploration, let's bring it back down to Earth for a bit.
Good idea.
So let's talk about the practical stuff.
Okay.
What are some specific areas where businesses are seeing real measurable benefits from using humanoid robots right now?
Well, logistics is a prime example.
Yep.
We talked about Agility Robotics Digit earlier,
Right.
but there are other companies doing some amazing things in this field too.
Oh, cool.
These robots are proving to be super valuable in warehouses and distribution centers.
I can see how that would be helpful.
They can handle things like picking and packing, moving inventory, and even loading and unloading trucks.
And it's not just about speed, is it?
Not at all.
I mean, the research we've looked at also highlights how precise and accurate these robots can be.
Exactly. Humanoid robots can work non-stop without taking breaks.
Wow,
And they don't get tired or make those little mistakes that humans sometimes do.
that makes sense.
This means fewer errors, less waste, and ultimately greater productivity and profits.
That's a win-win for businesses,
It is.
especially with online shopping booming and supply chains being stretched so thin.
Oh, for sure.
It seems like humanoid robots are coming onto the scene just when we need them most.
I think so too. And another key advantage is their ability to work alongside human employees.
Right, we talked about that earlier.
Right, they can handle the more repetitive or physically demanding tasks.
Oh, okay.
Which frees up the humans to focus on more complex or strategic work.
It's that collaborative aspect that I find so intriguing.
It's pretty cool.
It's not about replacing humans, but actually enhancing their capabilities.
Right,
And creating a more efficient and, well, just a more harmonious work environment.
I agree. And this collaborative approach isn't just happening in logistics.
Oh, right.
We're also seeing it in manufacturing, where humanoid robots are becoming a regular part of assembly lines.
Our sources did mention Tesla and BMW as big examples of this.
Yes.
What I find interesting is that these robots aren't just doing things like welding or painting cars.
Right,
They're also being used for more delicate operations,
right.
like installing small components or even wiring intricate systems.
That's correct. The progress we've made in dexterity and fine motor control in these robots is really expanding what they can do.
Wow.
And with AI being incorporated, they're getting even better at learning new tasks and adapting to new environments.
So it's not just about brute strength anymore.
Not anymore.
It's about precision,
Absolutely.
adaptability,
Yes.
and being able to work smoothly alongside humans.
I agree. It's a powerful combination.
It is.
And as these technologies continue to develop,
Oh.
we can expect to see humanoid robots being used in even more industries.
Oh, wow.
Taking on even more complicated roles.
I'm curious about the cost, though.
Yeah.
We discussed how things like 3D printing and innovative materials like graphene are helping to lower production costs.
Right.
But what about the initial investment?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is it even feasible for smaller businesses to think about using humanoid robots?
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
Currently, the initial cost can be pretty high,
Yeah.
especially for smaller companies.
Right.
But there are a few things that could make it easier for them.
Oh, good.
First, as production volumes increase
Okay.
and technologies advance,
Uh-huh.
the costs are expected to go down.
So that's hopeful.
Yes. And there's also the possibility of leasing or renting robots instead of buying them outright.
Oh, that's interesting.
This can be a more manageable way to do it for businesses that aren't ready to make a huge investment upfront.
I can see why that would be appealing to smaller companies.
Yes,
Are there any other financial things businesses should keep in mind?
of course. It's important to factor in the cost of training and maintenance,
Okay.
as well as potential downtime if a robot breaks down.
Makes sense.
But it's equally important to consider the potential return on investment.
Return on investment, that's what matters most for any business, right?
Exactly. And the data shows that humanoid robots can provide a substantial ROI.
That's correct.
For example, in logistics.
Okay.
Some companies are reporting efficiency gains of up to 40% after using these robots.
That's impressive.
It is. This translates to lower labor costs, faster turnaround times, and ultimately higher profits.
Those are compelling numbers.
They are.
So it seems like humanoid robots aren't just a cool tech innovation,
Right.
they're also a wise business investment.
Precisely. And as the technology keeps getting better and more affordable,
Okay.
we can expect to see even more businesses adopting humanoid robots in the years to come.
Okay. So we've covered the practical applications and the financial
We
implications.
have.
But what about the human element?
Yeah, that's important too.
How are workers reacting to these humanoid robots joining them in the workplace?
It's a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest.
Okay.
Some workers are naturally a bit worried about their jobs.
I can imagine.
They're afraid that robots will eventually replace them altogether.
Yeah. I understand why that would be a concern.
It is.
How are companies dealing with those concerns?
Open communication and transparency are key.
Okay.
Companies need to be upfront with their employees about their plans for using robots
Right.
and how it will affect their jobs.
That's fair.
They also need to provide training and opportunities for workers to learn new skills
Uh-huh.
so they can adapt to the changing demands of the workplace.
So it's not just about bringing in the technology.
Right.
It's about managing the people side of it, too.
Exactly. The success of integrating humanoid robots into the workplace doesn't just depend on their technical abilities.
Oh, okay.
It also depends on how well they're included into existing teams and workflows.
It's about creating an environment where humans and robots can work together effectively and safely.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That requires a shift in mindset,
Okay.
both from employers and employees.
Right. We need to be open to the possibilities this technology offers.
Yes.
While also understanding that we need to plan carefully and think about the ethical side of things. So it's not just about the robots themselves.
No, it's not.
It's about creating a future of work that benefits everyone.
That's a great way to put it. And that's a future I'm excited to be a part of.
Me too.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's turn our attention to what's coming next for humanoid robots
Okay.
and explore some of the bold predictions and potential challenges that lie ahead.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've covered so much ground already. From figuring out what makes a robot humanoid to seeing how they're impacting industries like logistics and manufacturing.
It's been a fascinating journey so far, and we've only just begun to explore what's possible.
Exactly. In this final part, we're going to fast forward a bit and imagine the future of humanoid robots. Brace yourselves for some truly mind-blowing possibilities.
I'm excited to dive into that.
Me too.
One area with huge potential is healthcare.
Healthcare.
Imagine a world where humanoid robots are assisting surgeons with complex procedures, providing personalized care to patients, or even helping with rehabilitation.
Our sources mentioned robots like the Da Vinci surgical system, which is already being used for minimally invasive surgeries. It's amazing to think how much more advanced those systems could become.
Oh, absolutely. With advancements in AI, machine learning, and sensor technology, surgical robots could become even more precise, intuitive, and autonomous. We might even see robots performing certain procedures independently under the watchful eye of a human surgeon, of course.
That's both fascinating and a little bit intimidating, to be honest.
I understand.
But I could see how it could revolutionize healthcare, especially in remote areas or for procedures that require incredible precision.
Exactly. It's all about expanding access to quality care and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. And it goes beyond surgery, too.
Okay.
Humanoid robots could have a big impact on elder care. They could provide companionship help with daily tasks, even monitor vital signs.
That's a huge need, especially as our population ages.
Yeah.
Imagine robots helping seniors stay independent and live more fulfilling lives. That's incredible.
It really is transformative.
Yeah.
And these potential applications extend far beyond healthcare. Our sources even talk about humanoid robots being used in education disaster response and even space exploration.
Now that sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
Yeah.
Robots on Mars. Tell me more.
It's not as far-fetched as it might seem. Humanoid robots are well-suited for exploring harsh and unpredictable environments like the Martian surface. They could collect data, conduct experiments, even help build infrastructure for potential human settlements in the future.
Wow, the possibilities are mind-boggling. But let's not get carried away with all this excitement. We need to remember the challenges, too.
Yeah.
As these robots become more advanced and integrated into our lives, the ethical considerations become even more critical.
You're absolutely right. We have to ensure that these robots are developed and used responsibly. Addressing concerns about job displacement, privacy, and even the potential for misuse is crucial.
Our sources emphasize the need for clear guidelines and regulations. This seems like a conversation that needs to happen on a global scale.
Absolutely. Open and honest discussions about the impact of this technology are essential. We need to work together to create a future where humanoid robots benefit all of humanity.
This deep dive has truly been an eye-opener. It's clear that humanoid robots are poised to have a major impact on our world. They have the potential to transform industries, improve our lives, and maybe even redefine what it means to be human.
I couldn't agree more. While challenges lie ahead, I'm optimistic about the future. If we approach this technology responsibly and collaboratively, I believe humanoid robots can help us build a better world for everyone.
So what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember from this deep dive?
I want them to embrace the future with curiosity and a sense of wonder. Don't be afraid to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and explore all the possibilities. The future of humanoid robots is being shaped right now, and we all have a part to play.
That's a fantastic message to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of humanoid robots. It's been an honor to have you as our expert.
The pleasure was all mine. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And to all our listeners, thanks for tuning in to The Deep Dive. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a fascinating and thought-provoking topic. Until then, stay curious.